Let's bring Foschini into our conversation. It consists of 14 trading brands and sells fashion, jewellery, accessories, cosmetics, cell phones, homeware and more.
Exactly,
If
so you'll
that's
be
possible.
familiar with all of those stores as well as the Total Sports. And then remember, last year sometime, I think that's when it was, they bought this thing called Phase 8 in Europe. So everybody's going to Europe. Brait going to Europe, these guys too.
Price to earnings ratio here, 16.7, dividend yield of 3.9 and market cap 31.9 billion rand. How does Foschini stack up in the clothing retailer space?
Well, I like Foschini. Go back 20 years ago, it was, in those days, what Truworths was 10 years ago. It was very much the darling of the sector. Kind of languished a bit. If you look at what Foschini's got, it's got the most diverse range of any of the clothing retailers, 14 companies in there. And I think that diversity lends a lot of strength to it. It was predominantly a credit retailer. They had a book called RCS. They've kind of sold that off over the past few years, getting more and more into the cash space. I think it's very clever. As Paul says, they bought Phase 8, which I think was a very good acquisition as well. So look, I actually like Foschini. Some people thought it was a value trap a year or two ago, but it's actually put on quite a nice spurt in the past year or so.
Paul, do you echo again? I asked that question earlier, the sentiments expressed
and I
by Chris.
particularly like those sporting retail companies, Sports Scene and Total Sports in there. I don't know too much about Phase 8. But I guess, you know, in markets like the UK, there's so many people and everyone has a relatively high disposable income. So if you've got the right store footprint, you can continue to do well. Chris did mention earlier how you got to do online well. And Foschini, I know, has been rolling out additional online platform stuff with regard to Due South and some of the other brands and those sporting brands.
Let's have a look at the share price graph.
Bit of a weird untoward surge there, up above 200 Rand at the beginning of 2015. Then it settled back a little bit. So, look, they don't have the same credit problems. They've offloaded most of RCS, as Chris said, but...
Opportunity here?
I think there is. I like this. And in this space, it's relatively good value. So I think Foschini stands, I think it's hot.
You're going hot, Paul? Are you going hot or not?
Yeah, look, Doug Murray continues to do a good job. My mate Anthony Thunstrom has taken over as CFO. I always like to give him a quick push.
From
and look,
KPMG, previously
operations,
KPMG.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I think they're going to do fine. They've got the multi-brand strategy. Share price looks inexpensive. Yeah, why not to like?